now we look at the elementary matrices that we would use in this process. Okay, what did we do between here and here? We took half of the first row. Well, if we take half of the first row of the identity matrix, this is a matrix we'll always refer to. Half of the first row is 1/2 0. We leave the second row alone because we left the second row alone. If we multiply this entire matrix here by, and you know, the way I wrote this down was careless. If I multiply this by this on the left, and then by this, I get this. Okay. If I multiply this by this first, then this is not what I get. Fortunately, it's not necessarily what I get. So I probably ought to say, okay, this times this gives us this. And let's do it this way. Okay. Well, let's see what I did here. The second operation I did was to multiply the first row by -1 and add it to the second. If I do that by -7, I'm sorry, multiply the first row by -7, add it to the second, so we get 0. Multiply the first row of this matrix by -7 and add it to the second row, what do I get? I get the matrix 1 0 -7 1. If I multiply this matrix times this one, I get this matrix. Okay, the next thing I did was I multiplied the second row by -1/11. If I do that to the identity matrix, I get 1 0 0 -1/11. That multiplied by this gives me this. And then finally, I get rid of this 2 by adding -2 times the second row to the first. Well, -2 times the second row gives me 0 2. Adding that to the first gives me 1 2. Yep. And there's my inverse matrix. I've got my identity here, my inverse here. Okay, so if I started out multiplying this matrix on the left by this one, then I'd have this one. But of course then I could multiply this product on the left by this one, and then multiply that on the left by this one, and that on the left by this one. So I'd have a string of 4 elementary matrices multiplied by this matrix. And if I carry out all those multiplications, this is what I end up with. You can then see that if I multiply my identity matrix, just the identity matrix, by this matrix on the left, and then put this one to the left of that, this one to the left of that, this one to the left of that, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get the inverse matrix. Now, it's really easy if your goal is to get the inverse matrix just to do what we did here. But it's going to turn out that I can easily get the inverses of all these matrices and multiply those together in a certain way to get results that we'll see in the next video. Okay, so make sure we understand these elementary matrices. Remember, an elementary matrix just says take the identity matrix and do some row operation.